Good morning, everyone. I'm Lee Stranahan. This is the Populist TV Morning News Report, a more concise, casual roundup of the news headlines as being reported by mostly the mainstream media. So the big story this morning for a lot of people is going to be the winter storms that are leaving the South and heading up to New England. Of course, the East Coast was just hit by storms, but they're expecting 7 to 10 more inches in New England, around Boston, for instance. So that's one of the big stories right now is more snow is coming. Meanwhile, in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, it's minus 4 degrees. We expect some flurries, so it's not that bad. NPR is calling yesterday's speech by Joe Biden about January 6th forceful and direct. Well, maybe they saw a different speech. They did point out that Joe Biden was saying that January 6th held a dagger to the throat of democracy. A lot of people thought the Joe Biden speech was not his best moment, but we'll see. They pointed out on NPR that what's happening is Biden is going back to what worked for him in the election, which is going after Donald Trump. So watch out for that. That is what Biden's doing. Among very, very bad poll numbers right now, when in doubt, attack Donald Trump. Meanwhile, Joe Biden is heading to Boulder County, Colorado, where there were devastating wildfires, thousands of acres, and he's going to survey the damage, as all presidents do. They survey, there's nothing they can do about it, but they're going to survey and talk about how bad it is. Meanwhile, in Chicago, schools will be closed for the third day after a dispute between the school district and teachers' unions, where teachers' unions want more COVID-19 restrictions. And Chicago is now getting slightly tough with its teachers and saying they're going to not pay them if they don't show up to work to teach in class. So if they just try to teach distance learning, they're not going to pay them. Meanwhile, this morning, the jobs report is due, and it's expected to be 400,000 jobs. Under the Trump administration, when I was watching the news, if they predicted the number was going to be 400,000, the real number would be 500. Let's see what happens. Watch this morning and see if the number is higher or lower than what they're predicting. They've already got the headline about the 400,000. We'll see what they get. Finally, in our roundup, Mardi Gras has announced that if you show up for Mardi Gras, you expect to be vaccinated and wearing a mask, which means New Orleans will be greeted by thousands of young men shouting, "Show us your chin," and then ladies getting beads. If you can't figure out that joke, I can't fill it in, but it is serious. They do want you masked and vaccinated in New Orleans. It is the final day of the Backstory with John Kiriakou. The show continues, but John is moving down to the show Political Misfits, noon to 2. It's been great working with John, and we're going to have a new host starting Monday, Austin Pelly, which is going to take the show to the right, because Austin's a young conservative, and I'm on the right, so that's all coming up on the Backstory. Today's the final episode. By the way, one other headline talking about a real insurrection. In Kazakhstan, the president has given the authorization to shoot at will. And we've had some great segments in the Backstory recently about Kazakhstan. There seems to be more to it than meets the eye. It's not just people protesting for democracy or something like that. It seems like, from reporting on the ground there, from people, a variety of sources, that basically people showed up and took over the protest. However, if that idea is posited about January 6th, that's crazy. Anyway, we'll talk to you later. See you today on The Backstory. That's the Morning News Roundup. Good morning.